Sound the potential new club klaxon, boys and girls. It's all about to kick off. Unless I fail the job interview. Hello and welcome to Club 4, Part 16 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we might have some football matches. We're probably going to be playing Burton in the FA Cup, and then we'll maybe be away against Reading in the league as well. Playing Burton gives me an excuse to show you Burton. This isn't the job that I've offered me an interview, but people keep asking me about Burton because they are having a remarkably good season. And I think it is just that. There doesn't seem to be any reason for it necessarily. They're just having a good season. They've not got loads of money. They've expanded their stadium a little bit. That might have allowed them to spend a little bit more money, which... I mean, that's probably why. There you go. That's exactly why. Matty Palmer is the reason why, because they were able to sell him for nearly £12 million. Sorry, £9 and a bit million. He's still at the club he's at the club in real life, but they've sold him for up to £11.5 million and have been able to reinvest that money in a proper team in a bigger stadium. Their stadium is now, how do we see that? Facilities. It is now a 10,000 capacity stadium. It's still tiny. Tiny ground, but they find themselves upper mid-table in the Championship, which is the highest they've ever been. So good work, Burton. But we're not here to talk about Burton today. We're here to talk about Newcastle, because Newcastle United have offered me a job interview. Before we attend, I'm just going to check to see what other jobs are currently available. The other ones that I applied for, I don't know if you saw me apply for Liverpool, but I applied for Liverpool. They turned me down, as did all the others that we looked at on yesterday's video. I've just seen Juventus is available, though, so we're absolutely going to apply for Juventus. Torino? No, not so much. Torino and Fiorentina, not as tempting. Lyon, though. Yeah, we'll have a bit of Lyon. I mean, I dare say they're probably a little bit too big for us, Lyon and Juventus. But Newcastle might be just the club. I know I said I was looking for someone who was rich and they're only okay finances, but Newcastle are a big club. They're a big, established Premier League team who are just having a bad 20 years. Wow. They currently find themselves 17th in the league, so there is a job to do. If we get it, we're going to have to actually hit the ground running and not get ourselves relegated. But if they can offer me plenty of pennies to spend, you know I love plenty of pennies to spend. So let's attend the interview. Say hello to Philip Burke, who is the director of Newcastle United. What's all this? I've been at loggerheads with my current employers with regards to club philosophies. What? Hold on, what are you saying to me? Where's philosophies on here? Wow. What have I done? How do we... Because I haven't signed any first team youngsters. But I have. I've signed quite a few first team... Have I signed any first team youngsters? No. Ish. No. Ish. And they're loans. Okay. I'll let you have that, Newcastle. Where were we? How do we get back to the interview? Don't tell me I've messed it up by arguing. Here we go. I think results on the pitch yeah, absolutely. That's the correct answer. With your team defying expectations in the league, are you perhaps looking to take advantage of moving whilst your stock is high? Yeah. I've done a good job there and feel it's the right time to think. Yeah, that one. I've not taken them as far as we can go. We could get promoted if I had another year or two. Why have you felt it acceptable to apply for a number of jobs? Because I'm Kev. Can you explain why you appear to be in the running for job? Didn't I just answer that one? I'm merely considering my options. You've previously been embroiled in media controversies. Shut your face. I have not. Our dynamics is spot on. Look at that. What's wrong with that? That happened a long time ago and I've learned from those mistakes. There we go. We've been performing largely as expected and we're on our best run of the season. You're 17th in the Premier League, 1 point out of the relegation zone. You need some aspiration, Philip Burke. There you go, there's his name. I believe I have a reputation now. I just think I've got enough about whoever gets a job doesn't need to know. I think the club is doing pretty much as it. Oh dear, none of them are good answers. I've got enough about me to get the job done. I'm happy to take charge immediately. Yeah, I'll take charge immediately. I don't need to make any changes to the backroom staff. Right, what's all this? Yeah, I'll sign youngsters. Promise. Don't ask for a reference from Portsmouth. I'm not going to play direct football. I don't want to do any of that other stuff. So I'll say no other philosophies. Look at all that money I'd have to spend. Oh. Yeah, I'll meet the expectation of avoiding relegation. Yeah, I'll work in that wage budget. And I have no further requests. Right. I look forward to hearing from you then. While we're waiting then, we'll play Burton in the FA Cup, and this is the team that we're going to put out there. We've got Rudd in goal, a back four of Van Arnholt, Thomas, Herford and Da Silva, with Boateng, Dazelle and O'Keefe in midfield. We've gone back to the Mazzala Carrilero combination in there because I want to prove that I can manage Juventus if they decide they want me. And then we've got Shashua in behind Hall and Scott. There's some... Shashua gets some hassle down in the comments. I don't know what he's done to justify it. That's a pretty good first full season. I don't know how people have got a problem with Samuel Shashua. I think he's probably our best option in that attacking midfielder position. I prefer him to both Schmodix and Grant, and he'll play ahead of them for as long as I'm still at this club, which hopefully won't be more than this one game. Yes, we want it. Yes, my players can adapt. I don't care about Boateng's contract. I'll be gone long before he does. Right, let's get into the game. I really want that Newcastle job now. It would be a lot of fun to make it to the Premier League. But then at the same time, I don't think Lyon and Juventus are realistic. I think I don't know, Lyon maybe? It's a big jump, though, for someone who's got absolutely no reputation outside of England. I think it would be unlikely for them to be keen. We saw with Espanyol, I think, one of the clubs who just didn't even bother interviewing me. There were a few others as well, that making that move abroad without any top flight experience in this country is fairly challenging. I could probably make a horizontal move abroad and move into someone in the second division in one of those major leagues, like with my championship resume, but I don't think someone in a top flight major European league is going to take me on when I don't have any top flight experience in England, which is why Newcastle could be such an important job, because it's not necessarily going to be the team that we go and win the Champions League with. I think that would be a massive task. But it's a team that we could probably, over the course of 2 or 3 years, get into Europe and then make another step on from there. And that one doesn't necessarily have to be in England. That's when the likes of Juventus become options, because we'll have all that experience of playing in black and white stripes, which is going to go in our favour. And I like the sound of that job. It sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Barry Scott, as well as scoring a goal, has picked up an injury, so we need to keep an eye on him. We have got Ugbo on the bench, I've been playing Ugbo a little bit more recently. He has been in some decent form, but it is just so difficult dropping any of the three of them, really. We've got 3 really, really good strikers for this level. So it is difficult choosing the combination of 2 that I want to use. And I know I should really be playing Ugbo every week because he's the one we own, and then rotating the other 2. But when the other 2 spell out the name of one of my favourite wrestlers, that does make it difficult. It's a balancing act, and I don't know if I've got it just right yet. But I think if we can come here to Burton today, we're having the season of the best season in the history of their football club. If we can come here today and knock them out of the FA Cup, that's potentially massive. That shows that we are in a positive trajectory now, although we've just conceded an equaliser just before half-time. There goes our trajectory. Won't somebody think of won't somebody learn to say trajectory? I said it right the first time. Trajectory. I just can't use it in a sentence, apparently. But I would like to win this game. I kind of feel like when you've got job interviews and stuff going on, they are going to be paying attention to what's going on in this game. They're going to send a representative down to Burton if they can get a ticket. I mean, only 10,000 capacity. It's difficult to sneak the Newcastle directors in, but I've driven past the Pirelli Stadium. I know it's been expanded a little bit now to make it 10,000 seats, but you can pretty much stand on top of your car outside and see the pitch. So they don't necessarily have to get in. They could just go park round the back, get a cherry picker, and they'll have the best view in the house or just outside of the house. So as long as they're here and watching, that's good. As long as we win the match, I don't want to disappoint them. If we're going to be, if this is it, if this is as good as it gets, then I hope they didn't get in. I hope their cherry picker was moved on, and they've had to go down the road to the, what else is in Burton? There's a TK Maxx. I once bought a pair of trousers that you can zip off at the knee and turn into shorts. They were pretty cool. Right, substitutions. We're going to take Scott off and bring on Ugbo. He's carrying an injury. Seems silly to keep him on for as long as I did, really. Luckily, it's a knee injury as well. Luckily, he's not my player, so it doesn't matter if I break him. And we don't have a fullback on the bench. That seems like a bit of an oversight. We will bring on Tunnicliffe, though. Shashua's having a terrible game after I said how good he was. Let's bring Schmodix on for Shashua. This is where you're all going to say, Kev, I told you so, when Schmodix comes on and scores the winner. Yeah, but Shashua, this game aside, has had a really good season. And I know I need to get out of this habit of triple substitutions, by the way. People do keep telling me about that. I don't know why I do it. I only do it on camera. When I'm not chatting to you lot, I do more sensible substitutions. But I think I have a fear of forgetting to make extra substitutions when you lot are watching, because I'm so busy chatting to you that I don't pay as much attention to what's going on the pitch. And I could easily just forget to make substitutions all the time, especially when I'm streaming. People see me do that when I'm streaming all the time. Either completely forget to make my substitutions, or a player gets injured in the 13th minute and I make a triple substitution then, because I just look up and see the tactics screen in front of me and assume it's that point of the match and I've made the decision to take them off. That's happened on more than one occasion. So it's the camera. It distracts me. That's why my substitutions are so weird. Right, come on. We need a winner. We don't want to replay. Ugbo, grab the winner. Oh, he forces a save out of the Burton keeper, and we've got just enough time to probably to take this corner, have another move, actually. There's still 2 minutes left. But is that new posh signing in real life, Omar Bogle, about to score the winner against us for them. It better not be. But I think he is up front for them. Splendid. There you go. Posh have signed a player in real life who's a future championship hero for Burton. Who knew? But we are going to have to play in a replay. If we're still here, we've got a week now where we just sit by the doormat waiting for a job offer from Newcastle. What's happened to Barry Scott? Pulled knee ligaments. Well, Ugbo gets a little run of games now then. I got really excited for a second because I thought this was an offer from Newcastle. I had to look at it like twice. But it's not. It's an offer from Portsmouth to try and get me to stay. I hate getting stuff like this because I don't want to upset them. But at the same time, I just don't want to talk about staying. This is an unexpected development. I haven't applied for this. They've just come in and offered it to me. I don't really want to go to Reading. That's a sideways move. They're below us in the league. And they keep finishing below us. Why would I go to Reading? Get lost, Reading. No interview for you. And Juventus and Leon have both turned me down. It's all on Newcastle now. Well, that's that then. Did they appoint someone? Ronald Koeman. Where was he before? Can I go and have his job? Sampdoria. Do I want to go to Sampdoria? Not really. A mid-table Serie A team with okay finances. It doesn't really sound like my cup of tea. So I guess... Oh, there you go. He's changed their preferred formation already. Oh, he acted fast, didn't he? I guess that's that then. I've applied for Dortmund as well, but I'm obviously not going to get it. There's nothing else interesting available. So with the transfer window drawing to a close now, I think we can probably assume we're going to be at Portsmouth for the rest of the season. And the goal now is to finish as high as we possibly can in the league. We're 8 points outside of the playoffs. Let's go give it a go. And of course, because of how the football world works, the team that we're playing is the team who offered me an interview that I didn't even attend. We're away against Reading. And I don't think I've made any changes to the team other than bringing Ugbo in for Barry Scott because Scott's injured. I'm pretty sure that's the only change we've fiddled with. I don't remember now. I went away and had a sulk after I didn't get the Newcastle job. And I've sat there, I've just spent 15 minutes looking at Sampdoria, deciding if I like the look of it. I don't know that I do. That grass looks glorious today. It doesn't normally look that good. Marvellous. But yeah, we'll stick it. We will stick it out at Portsmouth. I know that's what I said, and then went and looked at other jobs because I'd kind of got my heart set on a fresh start. But we're recommitting to Portsmouth. This is going to be our playoff push year now. I don't know if I don't think we've got any wage budget or transfer budget or anything to bring in any players. I haven't even looked because I was so convinced this time of year was going to be moving clubs that I haven't even planned that far in advance to sort of churn some players through. But I'm pretty sure we're maxed out on wages. No, we're over wages and maxed out on transfer because of the loanees we brought in right at the end in August. So I don't think there's anything we can do in the terms of transfer business. What a goal from Stuart O'Keefe. He's only just broken back into the team when we've switched back to Carolero and Mazzala again because he's quite good at the Mazzala. Is it Mazzala on attack? Or the other, whichever one you can do on attack, that's the one O'Keefe does. And he's good at it because he does stuff like that. When we were using it before down in League One, he was part of that midfield and he's never really been a regular for us since. I think he's 33, 34 at this point. But back in the team with Dazelle and Boateng around him, and has just scored an absolute screamer, which as it stands puts us up to 10th place and only 5 points outside of the playoffs. That could be very significant. Oh, I'd love a playoff push this season now. I tell you what I'd really like at this point. I'd like for us to sneak into the playoffs and get promoted and cross paths with Newcastle. They become the nemesis. Ronald Koeman and Newcastle, the two of them combined, they are the current nemesis for this save. The silver lining to all this is I don't know how I'd have done a black and white thumbnail to fit in with the thumbnail style for this series. So I guess we were never destined to be Newcastle or Juventus. The game understands that I don't have sufficient Photoshop skills or creativity to be able to turn their team colours into a proper thumbnail like I can when it's nice. Oh, blue and red. I can do blue and red. Easy peasy. I have seen Reading have scored. I'm just trying to pretend it didn't happen. I don't like the fact that at the start of the replay, Boateng's got the ball and just gave it away, and we've been caught napping a little bit there. We've got one defender with two Reading attackers. And, of course, in that scenario, they're going to get on the end of the cross and score a goal. So we've got a little bit of work to do. It's Dazelle with a corner. Falls to Shashua. To Boateng, trying to make up for his mistake from before. And he misses out on the ball again. But Van Aanholt intercepts. Dazelle, again, he's involved in a lot, Andre Dazelle. And now O'Keefe. We've got Van Aanholt out wide, ready for a cross. But he plays it down the wing for Boateng, who crosses to Hall. And it goes over. I've not seen anything at all of Ike Ugbo today, who I bigged up massively in the last game. He gets his opportunity alongside Hall, and it seems that they both need Barry Scott with them. Usually Scott plays every game, and then I rotate who plays as the target man. Perhaps Hall isn't much cop as an advanced forward, even though it's supposed to be his preferred position, and Ugbo doesn't get by as well without Scott drifting wide and crossing for him, which we've seen him do time and time again. We're now 2-1 down against a team I deemed beneath me and didn't even go to an interview at. I didn't even look if they've appointed a new manager prior to the game, but if this is managerless Reading thumping us, then forget any silly ideas of the playoffs, and perhaps we will put a Sampdoria application in after all. Shashu is injured. The crowd goes wild, so we're taking him off fairly early in the game. Schmodix can come on again. I understand that you like Schmodix because he's got a brilliant name, but Shashu is quite fun to say as well. They've both got good names. That's why those two get in ahead of George Grant, because George Grant's just a boring name. Shashua and Schmodix sounds amazing. Right, Hall. Out in the Barry Scott position. Can he cross? He doesn't. He tucks it back to Boateng instead, but luckily it does fall to Schmodix. But that's the exact situation where Hall needs to be crossing to Ugbo. That's where the majority of Ugbo's goals came from last year. Scott getting in this position, and Ugbo's making the run. He's charging down the middle. Why not cross to him? But it does fall to Schmodix in the end. Shashua would have scored as well. You know, he had an injury. So Schmodix comes on, makes an immediate impact, proving Kev wrong again. And Hall is not having a very good game. Robbie Dunn is coming on. That's how desperate things are getting. We're getting Robbie Dunn on to play up front with Ugbo. And we're also going to bring on the youngster Jesse Corbett at right back just for game time. We're trying to... My plan is that he's going to take Thompson's place in the squad next year. and now it's looking a little bit more likely we'll still be here. We do need to start developing some of our youngsters a little bit. If you're listening, Portsmouth board, look at me developing youngsters. Sorry I didn't sign him myself. He's one of our own. Is that all right? Right, here comes a winner. We've got 10 minutes. We've got plenty of time to build. Schmodix picks up the ball in the midfield to O'Keefe. Out to Van Arnholt, was very far forward again. Into Boateng. O'Keefe, we've got loads of space in the middle here. O'Keefe hits it again. And it's wide this time. I thought he was going to score another screamer, but apparently he doesn't have two in him each game. Just the one every now and again. We haven't seen Robbie Dunn at all in 20 minutes. It's like we've just gone down to 10 men. Are we going to see any of Robbie Dunn at this point? You all forgot he was still at the club. I forgot a little bit that he was still here. But he actually ended up having quite a good second half of the season last year. So it's probably even more hard done by on him than it is on Ugbo that he's not getting any game time. But he does exactly what Hall was supposed to do. He did the Barry Scott. Dunn drifts out wide, crosses to Ugbo, and with 20 seconds to go in the match, we get the winner. And it's all thanks to Robbie Dunn doing what I want to see my advanced forwards doing. This is what Hull didn't do for the entire match. And what a finish from Ugbo. It's 3-2 with 20 seconds left on the clock. Do not mess it up from here. This is positivity. I'm feeling giddy. We're going up, everybody. We're 5 points behind Cardiff. The chase for the playoffs is on. Do not concede a goal here. Where's your whistle, referee? Come on now. Corbett hits it forward to absolutely no one. They've got Fellaini in midfield. He must be about 50 by now. But it doesn't matter because we've won 3-2. Huzzah! If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.